Everybody talks about the mountain biking, Walmart, beautiful scenery, and low crime that Northwest Arkansas has to offer. But after helping so many people move to Northwest Arkansas from all over the United States, I've discovered that there are some things that locals know that newcomers don't usually find out until they've already unpacked. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you 7 different ideas I think you should know prior to moving to Northwest Arkansas. My friend, if we haven't had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Anthony Mosley. I'm a real estate broker here in Northwest Arkansas. I help people just like you, after presenting them the facts, decide, is Northwest Arkansas going to be or not going to be the next best place for them and their family to move? The first one I want to point out on our list is Northwest Arkansas is not one city. Now you might be saying, well, yeah, Anthony, I've done enough research to know that there's Bentonville, Springdale, Fayetteville, Rogers, Elkins, numerous different smaller cities all around, but many people believe that the region here alone kind of feels the same from tip to tail, from east to west. The whole area feels the same, and that's just not the case, my friend. In fact, depending on the lifestyle you choose, depending on what your day-to-day schedule might look like, the lifestyle and each city can live completely different. For instance, Bentonville certainly has more of that corporate and polished bike culture that you might see. Rogers has more of a retail and entertainment district and access to Beaver Lake, so a little bit more of a lake community. Down in Fayetteville, you're going to feel more of a college town. You're going to hear people call the Hogs, as crazy as that might be, and see the whole entire town turn Razorback red when the Razorbacks are playing. In Springdale, you're certainly finding a lot of industry and a developing food culture. Centerton and Pea Ridge are both very similar in that there's a lot of new construction. And up in Bella Vista, you're going to experience trees, greenery, lakes, and golf life. Needless to say, it's a different feel all over Northwest Arkansas, and depending on where you live, you might really like life in Centerton, but would not really like life out by the lake in Rogers. You can really like one city and then really dislike another city that's about 15 to 20 minutes away. Secret number 2 is traffic isn't bad, unless you drive like a local. In regards to traffic, Northwest Arkansas doesn't even come close to the kind of traffic you're going to see in Dallas, Chicago, Atlanta, as an example. Traffic here is pretty easy. Compared to what Northwest Arkansas was 10 years ago, of course, locals are going to complain constantly.
Always traffic. Always traffic.
It used to take me 7 minutes to get across town. Now it takes me 12. I'm sorry. Growth has added roughly 30 to 40 new residents a day, which creates pressure on our roads and infrastructure. If you've never driven in the South, you might be coming up to a 4-way stop and have so many of these other people start waving you on, like, yeah, you go ahead. I see there's a long line of traffic behind you. You go ahead. Which can be really nice, but in my opinion, it actually causes accidents. And those signs that say STOP on them, my friends, they are suggestions here. If people roll up to one of those and they don't see any traffic's coming, they're just going to keep on going. So pay attention for that, and certainly give yourself an extra second or two at stoplights. Once they turn green, just double check to make sure there isn't anybody coming before you start pulling into that intersection. I've got one more bone to pick before we move on to the next section is, you know those turn lanes? You've got 2 lanes of traffic, turn lane, and then 2 lanes of the opposite direction traffic. There's a lot of people that use that turn lane as a merge lane. They're making a left-hand turn and they just start flying down that turn lane. They don't pull into it and stop like you're supposed to, or even slow down and turn in. They're using that as a merge lane to then get over. So you got to watch out for that also. So that said, traffic really isn't bad by big city standards, but the other side of it is locals here remember a time when it used to only take them 10 minutes to get just about everywhere. The next secret on our list is the best lifestyle neighborhoods aren't necessarily the most expensive. That's right, many newcomers assume that they need downtown Bentonville, but my friend, you really don't. There are actually some locals here who intentionally choose Bella Vista for the trees and Pea Ridge and East for the space, Avid for privacy, West Rogers for convenience, and Cave Springs for location. Of course, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it certainly all depends on your individual lifestyle. Do you want to come home from work and be able to go out on the trails right away? Maybe Bentonville or Bella Vista might be right for you. If you want to come home from work and not hear another car drive by for the rest of the evening, you might consider Gravette, Gentry, and Decatur. If you want to come home from work or on the weekend be out by the lake, I would definitely recommend being out by Beaver Lake in Rogers, Springdale, or Lowell. Some of the happiest people I know that end up moving here don't end up living in the trendy neighborhood, living downtown Bentonville, being able to walk, roll, or stroll to downtown to grab a brew. They want to live that evening life away from the city and enjoy the evening, be able to go on a roll or stroll in the morning on the back 40 trail up in Bella Vista, as an example. Secret number 4, septic systems versus sewer systems matter a little bit more than other areas. This is one factor that many people moving from major metropolitan areas don't know or have never experienced anything about in their entire life. If you didn't know, a septic system is essentially your own private sewer system. The problem with septic systems there's a future replacement cost. You have expansion limitations. So say you want to put a pool in your backyard, you have to make sure that you're certain setbacks away from that septic system in order to install your pool. There are drain field restrictions. If you're on over an acre here in Benton County, you need not only a primary location for your septic drain field, but also a secondary location for maintenance and backup. If you want to add onto your home or add maybe a shop building, you certainly have to take into consideration the location of that septic tank. You can't build right on top of it. You can't do, and I probably wouldn't want to do, a garden on top of your septic drain field. Areas to watch out for anytime you start getting outside of city limits, like Gravette, Gentry, Decatur, Garfield, Elkins, and most definitely up in Bella Vista. Bella Vista was designed to have city sewer all over the entire city of Bella Vista, so there's a lot of private septic systems there in Bella Vista. Before we move on to our next section, down in the comments or even in the video description below is a link to request my relocation guide. Consider filling that out and requesting a relocation guide. I'll send it to you in the mail. Consider that an opportunity for us to possibly start working together. Our 5th secret of the day is Northwest Arkansas is not cheap anymore. You may be doing a bunch of research online right now and realizing that Arkansas as a state is one of the most cost-effective states to live in the United States. Yes, however, when you start positioning yourself up here in Northwest Arkansas, my friend, it is definitely not cheap anymore. That certainly was true years ago, where the average home prices have increased dramatically over this last several years, with the median home sale prices in 2018-2019 around $200,000 to approximately around $375,000 in 2025 as a region. Northwest Arkansas is certainly still more affordable than many areas around the country, California, Colorado, many parts of Texas. But if you're expecting bargain basement prices, you're a few years too late, my friend.
Too late, Luther.
The next secret I want to share with you, my friend, is that the real luxury is not in the houses. Where we find most luxury here in Northwest Arkansas, it's access. We don't brag necessarily about square footage here. We start bragging about our proximity to riding mountain biking trails after work, being to the lake in 15 minutes, or rolling or strolling to concerts at the Amp. We have a national airport close by. If I were to leave my house right now, just head to the airport, it's about 13 minutes down the street. The real luxury here, my friend, is proximity to all of those things. You have urban mountain biking, splash pads, high quality schools, lake life. The real luxury is we spend so much less time commuting to and from work or to different things because everything is very close in proximity, that we spend more time doing the things we love and less time sitting in a car. So the biggest upgrade that people experience here isn't their home, it's their lifestyle. Last but certainly not least, my friend, our number 7 secret
Now, pay attention, 007.
is that Northwest Arkansas is growing a lot faster than you might think. It wasn't too long ago that the Northwest Arkansas Council said that there's nearly 38 net people moving here per day. I bet to believe since that report came out, we're probably in the low 40s now. Most people still picture Northwest Arkansas as a sleepy Ozark town, but the reality is regional planners are preparing for a population approaching 1 million residents in the coming decades. The growing discussions are centering around transportation, housing, sewer capacity, and infrastructure. If you haven't heard it yet while you're doing your research, know that Northwest Arkansas is far behind when it comes to infrastructure regarding sewer, water supply, road maintenance, and road development. There are new highways that are going into the 612 Northern Bypass. That's also planned to go to the east side. There's also more discussions about widening and growing Highway 112, along with many other highways, byways, streets, and trails, my friend, that are continually growing here in Northwest Arkansas. My friend, it's always a pleasure to put this information together for you, and now you know a little bit more about what life is like in and around Bentonville. Thanks for watching.